Namaste, angels. This is the daily reading for today, April 30th. There is a Pisces moon today, and the really exciting stuff happened the day prior, Sunday, the 29th. Saturn entered retrograde in Capricorn, which it rules. So I decided to go ahead and come on here, even though the day almost got away from me. Nothing wrong, just busy. And I was like, oh, okay, I won't do it. But I'm like, you know what? Let's see how the first day of Saturn retrograde went and or is going and what it might lead into. So we're going to do that. We're going to begin with the year 311 when Roman Emperor Galerius issues an edict of toleration, ending the persecution of Christians in the Roman Empire. 711 Islamic conquest of Iberia. Moorish troops are led by Tariq ibn Ziyad, and they land in Gibraltar to begin their invasion of the Iberian Peninsula. 1562, the first French colonists in North America. Jean Ribault and colonists arrive in Florida. 1789, George Washington is inaugurated as the first president of the United States of America. 1859, Charles Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities is first published in a literary periodical called All Year Round. It came out in weekly installments until November 26th. 2009, Chrysler Automobile Company files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. And now I think they're back on top, Chrysler. I believe so. Did you know the World Wide Web, or WWW, is first launched in the public domain by CERN scientist Tim Berners-Lee on April 30th in 1989. Famous birthdays: Carl Friedrich Gauss, Joachim von Ribbentrop. Joachim is such a strange name on the face that I'm looking at. He looks like a Nazi. Antonio Guterres, Stephen Harper, Isaiah Thomas, and Kirsten Dunst. Would you believe 1888 Moradabad hailstorm, allegedly as big as oranges, killed 246 people and some 1,600 sheep and cattle in Moradabad, Uttar Pradesh, wherever that is. Sounds like it's somewhere in Asia, India maybe. I'm not sure where. Anyway, this happened on April 30th in 1888. Famous weddings. 1290. They have Joan of Acre. I'm presuming they mean Joan of Arc. 18. Oh, no, maybe they mean Joan of Acre, because they're talking about daughter of Edward I. Yeah, okay, Joan of Acre. She was 18. She was the daughter of Edward I. She marries Gilbert de Clare, Duke of Hertford, at Westminster Abbey on this day in the year 1290. 1923, golfer champion Walter Hagen, 30, weds Edna Strauss at the Hotel Biltmore in New York. 1932, Australian Test cricket batsman Don Bradman, 23, weds Jessie Martha Menzies at St. Paul's Anglican Church in Burwood, Sydney. That must be Sydney, Australia. Famous deaths: Sigismund III Vasa, Edward Manet, Adolf Hitler, speaking of Nazis, Agnes Moorehead, George Ballantyne, and Muddy Waters. Muddy Waters, or McKinley Morganfield, was a blues musician, American. He's one of the most influential blues musicians of all time. His impact extends to blues, rhythm and blues, rock and roll, hard rock, folk, jazz, and country. The Rolling Stones named themselves after his 1950 hit song, Rolling Stone. Walter's use of amplified electric guitar helped him to define his legendary style, which transformed the rustic blues of the Mississippi into an electrified urban sound and made him the pioneer and father of modern Chicago blues. His hits include I Just Want to Make Love to You, Louisiana Blues, Hoochie Coochie Man, and I'm Ready. Waters has received 6 Grammy Awards, including a Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award in 1992, and is a member of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He was born on April 4th in 1913. I thought this felt familiar. I guess we read about him not too long ago at the beginning of the month. He was born in Jugs Corner, or Issaquena County, or Rolling Fork, Mississippi, guess whichever one you choose to call it, USA, and was an Aries. He died on April 30th in 1983 at the age of 70 of a heart attack. George Balanchine, like not Ballantyne, Balanchine, Chine, was Russian and one of the 20th century's most prolific and famous choreographers. Styled as the father of American ballet, he took the standards and technique from his education at the Imperial Ballet School and fused it with other schools of movement that he had adopted during his tenure as a guest choreographer on Broadway and in Hollywood, creating his signature neoclassical style. He was born on January 22nd in 1904 in St. Petersburg, Russian Empire, and was an Aquarius. He died on April 30th in 1983 of something called Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. Don't know what that is. Agnes Moorehead was an actress, American. She had a career of over 30 years in radio, TV, stage, and film, but is best known as playing Endora in Bewitched. She was Samantha's mother. She was born on December 6 in 1900 in Clinton, Massachusetts, USA, and was a Sagittarius. She died on April 30th in 1974 at the age of 73 of uterine cancer. Adolf Hitler was a dictator of Nazi Germany. His policies led to World War II in Europe and the Holocaust. Hitler served in the German army in World War I and was awarded the Iron Cross for bravery twice. After the war, he became the leader of the National Socialist German Workers, or Nazi Party. As leader, he attacked the Treaty of Versailles, promoted pan-Germanism, anti-Semitism, and anti-communism. His charismatic oratory, backed by Nazi propaganda, found a receptive audience in Germany during the Great Depression. Appointed chancellor in 1933, Hitler quickly consolidated power, appointing himself Führer in 1934. He soon turned Germany into a totalitarian one-party dictatorship. His first 6 years in power resulted in rapid economic recovery from the Great Depression, the removal of restrictions imposed on Germany after World War I, and the annexation of territories that were home to millions of ethnic Germans. Hitler's aggressive foreign policy is considered to be the primary cause of the outbreak of World War II in Europe. He directed large-scale rearmament, and on September 1st in 1939, he invaded Poland, resulting in British and French declarations of war on Germany. In June of 1941, Hitler ordered an invasion of the Soviet Union. By the end of 1941, German forces and the European Axis powers occupied most of Europe and North Africa. Failure to defeat the Soviet Union and the entry of the United States into the war forced Germany onto the defensive and ultimately led to its defeat. With the Red Army closing in on Berlin, Hitler and his longtime lover, Eva Braun, who I believe was his cousin, if I remember correctly, committed suicide on April 30th in 1945. Hitler and the Nazi regime were responsible for the killing of an estimated 19.3 million civilians and prisoners of war. In addition, 29 million soldiers and civilians died as a result of military action in the European theater of World War II. The number of civilians killed was unprecedented and constitutes the deadliest conflict in human history. He was born on April 20th in 1889. There must have been a weekend because I don't remember reading about him before. In Gasthof zum Pommer, Brno am Inn, Austria-Hungary, and was a Taurus. He died on April 30th in 1945 at the age of 56 of suicide. Edward Monet was an Impressionist painter, an important French Impressionist painter whose major works include The Luncheon on the Grass, Olympia, and a bar at the Folies Bergerac. Monet was one of the major figures in the move away from realism in painting toward the more radical impressionistic style. His Olympia painting of a nude especially caused a sensation in 1865, which of course is 9/11 or 11, and that was when it was exhibited at the Paris Salon. He was born on January 23rd in 1832 in Paris, France, and was an Aquarius. He died on April 30th in 1883, another 9/11 or 11, at the age of 51, of complications from syphilis. Pervert. I'm kidding. I don't know if he was a pervert or not. Sigismund III Vasa was both Polish and Swedish, and he was a king. A highly controversial figure in Poland, Sigismund III ruled as the King of Poland and Grand Duke of Lithuania from 1587 or 66 to 1632, and was the King of Sweden from 1592 to 1599. His long reign coincided with the apex of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth prestige, power, and economic influence. However, during his reign, the symptoms of decline that led to the Commonwealth's eventual demise also surfaced. He was born on June 20th in 1566, which is 666. In Gripsholm Castle, Sweden, and was a Gemini. He died on April 30th in 1632 at the age of 65. Going back up to the birthdays, Kirsten Dunst is 36 years old. She's an actress, American, famous for Spider-Man and Melancholia. She was born on April 30th in 1982 in Point Pleasant, New Jersey, USA, and again is 36, a dog on the Chinese zodiac, and a Taurus. Isaiah Thomas is 57 years old. He's an NBA point guard, or he was, as well as a coach. He played professionally for the Detroit Pistons in the NBA, winning 2 NBA championships. The 12-time NBA All-Star was also named one of the 50 greatest players in NBA history. He was born on April 30th in 1961 in Chicago, Illinois, USA, and again is 57 years old, an ox on the Chinese zodiac, and a Taurus. Stephen Harper is 59 years old. He's the 22nd Prime Minister of Canada. He was a Conservative Party politician and the 22nd Prime Minister of Canada, serving between 2006 and 2015. He was born on April 30th in 1959 in Toronto, Ontario, and again is 59, a pig on the Chinese zodiac and a Taurus. They keep repeating for whatever reason. He's a pig. This is the year of the pig also, so maybe he's having a good year. The year of the pig, all about, abundance, wealth. Antonio Gutierrez is 69 years old. He is Prime Minister of Portugal and Secretary General of the United Nations. He began his professional life as an academic before joining the Socialist Party in 1972 and devoting himself to politics. Gutierrez became leader of the Portuguese Socialist Party in 1992 and led them to victory in 1995 in a national election, after which Gutierrez was appointed prime minister. He was popular during his first term, overseeing Expo 98 in Lisbon and the 500th anniversary of the voyage of Vasco da Gama. Gutierrez's second term as prime minister was not as successful. His government's reputation was damaged by the Hints Ribeiro Bridge disaster in 2001. So maybe people were killed in that. They don't say what that is. And he resigned in 2002. So whatever it was bad. In 2005, he was elected UN High Commissioner for Refugees and served until 2015. So even though he had to leave amid some sort of scandal or something, he got hired for another big time job. And he was the person to deal with refugee crisis that resulted from the Syrian civil war because of that position at the UN. In 2017, he was elected UN Secretary General. He was born on April 30th in 1949 in Lisbon, Portugal, and is 69 years old, an ox on the Chinese zodiac, and a Taurus. Excuse me. This one that doesn't match his name, Joachim von Ribbentrop. Yes, full name, Ulrich Friedrich Wilhelm Joachim von Ribbentrop, foreign minister of the German Reich. A Nazi, just like he looks. He ruled in that position as foreign minister of the German Reich from 1938 to 1945. He became a close confidant of Hitler and was tried, convicted, and hanged at the Nuremberg trials for war crimes. He was born on April 30th in 1893 in Wesel, Rhine province, Germany, and was a Taurus. He died on October 16th in 1946. At the age of 53, he was executed by hanging. And lastly, Carl Friedrich Gauss was fully named Johann Friedrich Karl Gauss, and he was a mathematician and an astronomer, as well as a physicist, one of the world's most famous mathematicians. His achievements include his contributions to number theory, proving the fundamental theorem of algebra, independently arriving at the least squares method, or the line of best fit, and introducing the bell curve, or Gaussian distribution, in statistics. He also made important contributions to geodesy, planetary astronomy, and the theory of functions and potential theory, including electromagnetism. He was born on April 30th in 1777 in Brunswick, Germany, and was a Taurus. He died on February 23rd in 1855 at the age of 77, and he was the last. Going to the dice, we're beginning with Dirty Movie, Try Again, and Eat Cake. So, happy birthday or congratulations or enjoy the cake. For those of you who are celebrating or not, maybe just eating cake, that's cool too. Spirit says no. Oh, okay. Sex. I'll celebrate that. And buy shoes. Going to the cards, begin with the Prince of Winter, decisive, focused, driven, and impulsive. Get ready for progress to speed up. This situation requires you to choose logic and intellect over emotion and to make your decisions quickly. Very nice. Opening to the Ace of Summer. This is the beginning of a new emotional experience for you. It may be the first blush of romantic love, the rebirth of a current relationship, or the awakening of spiritual gifts and insights. And you're looking at it in terms of the sex dice, die. So it could be, again, the resurgence of a relationship or a new relationship. And it could absolutely also be connected to coming into some sort of clarity or spiritual growth, during retrograde. It's like full-on retrograde season now with Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto all in retrograde. Important changes are coming into your life, and they will require you to take action. Don't hesitate to move in new directions that you know are right for you. Major Arcana card 16, life experience, is actually the Tower in the traditional tarot. And we have it here opposite the Ace of Cups. And so it's something that, it's just going to be unbelievable. Or something that's going to make you unbelievably happy. Just fill you with joy. Ace of Summer opposite the Tower. It's something that comes in very, very quickly. And, sort of sweeps you off your feet. And opening to the Queen of Autumn. Thoughtful, caring, creative, and ingenious. You will be given advice that's both practical and creative, and it should be followed precisely. Focus only upon the positive in every situation or person. The Queen of Autumn is a Capricorn, where both Pluto and Saturn are located in that retrograde. Or Taurus, where the sun is, of course, and the moon will be at the end of the week. Or a Virgo. These two together, especially right after the Tower, can also be like finding a new place, moving, new apartment, new living situation, a condition. That makes you very happy too. This could be like finding, having the money to do it or the wherewithal to do it, or this could be a selling of a home or something also. And happy about that. Queen of Autumn. And the 5 of summer. Focus upon the fact that God loves you and always has the highest of intentions for you. A positive outlook makes it easier to recover from life's little difficulties so that you can move onward and upward. So if something does happen that you're not happy about, don't let it, sink you. Because that can block the good stuff that's coming. And it's Major Arcana card 17, the Star, which is all about like wishes being granted, prayers being answered. So maybe you ask God for whatever that Ace of Cups represents for you. And, you should be, even if other stuff is going on, like before that arrives, that makes you be like, oh, damn, like, why is this happening? Or makes you disappointed or something. Still try to keep yourself upbeat, remembering that you prayed for something good and allow it to actually come in. You're about to take a big leap forward with your life. Worry will be replaced with optimism. Fear with hope, and joy is coming home to roost. Major Arcana card, the Star, represents the sign of Aquarius. This card is also about communication and stuff. With that Star, you could have prayed for somebody to return to your life too. That could be what the Ace of Cups is about. We could have prayed for a relationship or something, a new one. That could be what it's about. Coming, or for a reunion or something too. But our overall energy is Major Arcana card 14, balance, which is temperance in the traditional tarot. By merging varying points of view, you can now generate an extraordinary new idea, compromise with others, and collaborate to discover a better solution. Crowning, the masculine, it's the Queen of Summer, compassionate, loving, giving, and psychic. This is the time, or a time rather, of deep emotions and heightened intuition that you can trust completely. Be mindful that you don't ignore your own needs while caring for others. The Queen of Summer is a Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. There is a Pisces moon today, actually, so that could be a reason why it's here. Also, again, it could be representing Pluto, which is currently retrograde as of last week in Capricorn. And the masculine is surrounded by Major Arcana card 1, the Magician. There is magic in the air, and you can manifest everything you need to be successful. The Magician for me represents the sign of Gemini, and it is about like bringing those things into our lives. Look, I'm talking about like don't allow yourself to become overly disappointed and sink into, misery, because that blocks your blessings. This is about doing the opposite. Keeping your thoughts and your intentions on your goal so that it actually comes in. Masculine subconscious, the King of Summer. Both of them showed up in the love reading too. The King of Summer is warm-hearted, devoted, loving, and faithful. A trustworthy person or relationship enters your life. You may receive wise and compassionate advice from someone who speaks directly from the heart. The King of Summer is, like the Queen, a Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. And for at least one person watching this reading is specifically like a love reading, even though it's just a daily general. There's a couple at the table, or somebody's trying to manifest this couple, right? We have the Magician sitting in between them. Crowning the feminine, it's the 9 of Autumn. Maybe she's single, and that's why the masculine is trying to manifest her. Your success has brought you great financial security and the reward of much deserved time off to enjoy your own company. You may suddenly have a brilliant idea for a business or self-employment opportunity that will be very successful. The 9 of Autumn is about that, about spending time with yourself, getting to know you, enjoying you, learning to like you and even love you. It's pretty awesome. It includes nurturing, doing things that you enjoy. Like I go to the nail salon, I get massages there, I get pedicures, and so I get more than one thing at once. So like while my nails are drying, some woman's, at my back doing the massage, so my hands are here, and I that's how I pamper myself. It's inexpensive, it helps me to stay groomed, and it's something for me. Whereas other than that, I'm typically always doing something for everybody else. My kids, my parents, whatever it is. I'm the middle kid. The middle kid gets all of it. It's like the older one left and they went about their business. The younger one, it doesn't matter how old they get, they're still like the baby, and so nobody, relies on them. The middle one has to do all the stuff. Feminine is surrounded by Major Arcana card Justice. Fair decisions will be made after all the evidence is reviewed, and it's going to be reviewed impartially. Have compassion for others and try to see all sides of a disagreement. Major Arcana card Justice represents the sign of Libra. And it could very well have to do with the feminine coming into some sort of abundance, lucrative something. Maybe it's her, her starting a business or working on her business that she already has, and doing well. There's some sort of legality there, signing contracts or something. Feminine subconscious. Speaking of signing contracts and stuff about money, the Princess of Autumn, so it's more money. Cheerful, reliable, intelligent, and mischievous. A wonderful opportunity related to your work, right? Even if it's your own business, that's still like your work. Or your education. Maybe you need to take some sort of class or something in order for you to do something. You want to do jewelry making. I don't know where that came from. You got to go to a jewelry making class or something. And that would be where the Princess of Autumn comes in. A promotion or a scholarship can also be coming your way too. Seize this chance to learn something exciting or to start a new rewarding and uplifting career. Boom. Just what I felt. This can also be, for me, the Prince of Autumn, a Page of Pentacles, and the learning can also be about life, right? Life experience. And, how they say the school of hard knocks, or experience is the best teacher. It can be you going through different things and learning, what looks like a positive lesson, at least not a negative lesson. There's no negative cards here. Justice, of course, can go either way, but with what it's surrounded by, it looks positive. The Princess of Autumn represents the signs of Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus, or someone like into those traits or attributes. Crowning. Major Arcana card 13, Release or Death. It's time to release the past and to move on to something new. This ending is the first step on the way to a happier future. Major Arcana card Death represents the sign of Scorpio, like the King and Queen of Water, of Cups may as well here. At the root, the Six of Autumn, very nice. Also about giving and receiving, right? Healthy exchange, perhaps of money. Can also be about a raise, a promotion, or scholarship or something, just like the Princess of Autumn next to which it sits. So this is very positive for somebody. Maybe it's your kid, we're coming up on that time. It's like June. It's time to go off to college soon, come August, September. So maybe like scholarships and things are coming in. And it's for them, but that's going to help you. That's less that you have to pay, or you get some relief when it comes to buying their books, or, their equipment or something, some sort of reimbursement. Or maybe you want to go back to school. Your success and prosperity have allowed you to pay off debts, acquire wise loans, or to receive a grant or scholarship. Somebody also could be getting some sort of waiver on their student loan or something. In return for heaven's blessings, whatever it is, because it can be love too. For me, it's unconditional love, whatever the exchange is, because it's giving and receiving without agenda. So in exchange for that, if you do get some money, be sure to share the wealth with others, or whatever you get. If it's an abundance of something, or you have enough to at least accomplish what it is you need to, be sure to share through donations of time or money to reputable charities, causes. At the heart of the matter, Major Arcana card Strength, 11. True strength is displayed through kindness, forgiveness, and compassion. You have tremendous personal power and courage. So this could be, again, facing a a relationship, maybe where there had been some problems, resulting in the single woman here, masculine wanting to get her back. And you have the strength to make it through whatever this is and to make your apologies and accept the apologies, because we also have Major Arcana card 14, balance or temperance as the overall energy. And temperance is also about coming together, compromise, negotiation, agreeing somewhere in the middle, meeting in the middle, right? And we have the Prince of Autumn up right behind that. Trustworthy, dedicated, protective, and funny. It's important to make a detailed plan before starting any new endeavor. Once you have that plan in place, then you can take immediate action and get as much accomplished as possible. The Prince of Autumn is also a Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. It may be him who is trying to manifest a new relationship or romantic relationship, or a renewed romantic relationship, maybe specifically with a Gemini, or maybe specifically with a water sign, or maybe he is specifically a water sign or an earth sign. Didn't earth and water come up all weekend for me? But again, also Pluto, ruler of the sign of Scorpio, is retrograde in Capricorn. So that could be what's driving all of this too. And it may have nothing to do with the person themselves being one of these signs, but the that very powerful planet pushing them to do stuff, especially now that Saturn has joined in that same location. I thought something else was coming for a second. Let's, I like to get greedy when I see upright cards. Let's take a look at death and see of what one may need to let go, or to where we're transitioning from a place of fear and stuckness, moving out of that, right? Death to that for sure. Who needs that? It's so easy to convince yourself that you're trapped when you really aren't. Trust that God will lift you to new heights and give you a greater sense of self-confidence if you first affirm your freedom. So if the masculine, for example, can free himself of his fear, maybe to approach the feminine and to try to apologize, right? Do the right thing by her. If he can affirm, that's what I want to do, the universe is going to support him in doing that. And he has room to make that approach. If it's the feminine, again, working on her business or trying to start a business, if she lets go of anything that's holding her back, that's inhibiting her, it looks very promising and lucrative, what's here. And if this is just your everyday life, you may end up with a less serious situation, a more minor situation of the need to just exchange and be positive and spend time in your own company. And if you do come up with come up to some sort of situation, where you got to try to view it one way or another, make sure you're looking at things as fairly as possible. I think this is also warning us of how we need to stay on top of our karma. I mean, we always do, but especially during this period of, again, retrograde, where some of the most serious planets as it relates to karma, Jupiter and Saturn, are both retrograde now. So I think it's like, make sure you weigh things properly. You give apologies where they're warranted. You accept apologies where that's warranted. If you need to figure out which is which, go within, spend some time by yourself, see what you decide. In all transactions, love, and money, and general, give and receive freely, without fear and without agenda, without trying to double cross anybody any kind of way. Disappointment for the masculine here. Focus upon the fact, because he has to, if he's manifesting, he needs to watch his thoughts. Focus upon the fact that God loves you and always has the highest of intentions for you. A positive outlook, right? Because I think he's scared, remember? So that can cause him to not have a positive outlook. He has to fix that if that's the case. Because the positive outlook can make it easier to recover if there is a disappointment. And where it's not, it can help him to make it easier for him to manifest what he does want in his life. And feminine for us, it's the Chariot. We're just winning all day, and I think into tomorrow. You know, I don't think this is just for today. I think that this was like an energy that settled in, because again, this is the first full day of Saturn retrograde, and I think that this is where we're at for a little while, in the driver's seat, in control of our own destiny, master of your destiny, and it all depends on what you do and how you do it. If you make those fair choices, or if you try to smart the system, the celestial system, is not going to work very well for you. You can successfully balance various or opposing energies all at once. You can do this through determination and focus. You've earned the rewards and recognition that you are receiving. Someone may be getting a car or something, maybe some sort of settlement in relation to a car or something. Maybe like you get a car accident, the insurance payout is coming or something like that too. And I'll just take a look at the masculine's 5 of summer and what that's about. It's about hurt and whatever. I think that this is, again, past pain, something that he may have, whatever causes the need for apologies here in the middle and for fairness and compassion is what's got him down. And it may be something, again, maybe specifically with a Gemini that didn't go right, or an air sign, with this being the 3 of air or swords. Sadness is part of life, but you don't have to endure it alone. You may need a little time to heal, but once you work your way through the emotions, you'll be stronger than before. So it's in his power to fix that. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the daily. I'll be back tomorrow. Namaste.